Same Western powers in joint venture with their Arab proxies are conspiring against Ethiopia to project their usual policy of zero-sum game of regional geopolitics in Africa, and the Horn of Africa in particular. This time around, the ill-advised policy of these countries is revolving around destabilizing a democratically elected government of Ethiopia by using various international financial institutions, so-called non-profit organizations, and last but not least, the United Nations. The United Nations, through its several agencies, has meddled in the internal affairs of Ethiopia by supporting the insurgencies launched by the Tigray People's Liberation Front, TPLF, which has ruled the country with an iron grip for close to 3 decades, causing incalculable destruction of Ethiopia through its ethnic apartheid policy of divide and rule. The United Nations not only played along with the apartheid ethnocratic former administration of Ethiopia, but continued undermining Ethiopia's effort to work for its national interest by supporting various fighting factions, indirectly providing resources for these entities and working with various Western and Arab countries to harm Ethiopia. This effort has been compounded recently by evacuating United Nations staff, citing fake and bogus security concerns the country has not experienced at all. As part of this effort, the United Nations systematically forced its international hire staff to evacuate by informing them to leave their duty stations in Ethiopia or face disciplinary measures. This forced approximately 400 staff members and their dependents to leave their duty stations in Addis Ababa to their respective home countries. This relocation operation of staff and their dependents has been financed through the already dwindling budget of the organization, paying close to $40,000 per dependent family for the period of 6 months. The United Nations Economic Commission for Africa will be spending close to $16 million in the next 6 months to support these relocated families in their home countries. All this is happening at times when the organization has faced serious budgetary shortfalls post-COVID-19 and sluggish economies in major contributing member countries. While conducting these relocation operations, the organization is showing telltale signs of financial strains and started informing the temporary hires, contract employees, and local staff to start honing their skills for any future circumstances where their old employment cannot be maintained. The ultimate goal of this endeavor is clear: to keep on pressing Ethiopia and Ethiopians from working for their national interests and developing their country, joining hands with their first democratically elected government in its history. As history teaches us, all these futile efforts will eventually fail, and the true nature and color of the organization will come out. Its predecessor, the League of Nations, failed miserably after failing to stand strong against illegal invasions of both China, Manchuria, and Ethiopia, who were good-standing members of the organization at that time. The rest is history. As Guinea Brown Waite, former U.S. Representative for Florida's 5th Congressional District, serving from 2003 until 2011, famously once said, "The United Nations has come under the control of outlaw nations and self-serving special interest groups." We shall see how history will judge that.
At the League of Nations, a grave disturbance. Today, Haile Selassie comes to plead for his lost empire. He wants them to make Mussolini give up Ethiopia. The Geneva crowds are for him, but the exiled emperor will need his imperturbable dignity before the day is over. British Foreign Minister Eden, Soviet Delegate Litvinov on the left, and French Premier Blum and all the statesmen, instead of helping Haile Selassie, have decided to lift the sanctions against Italy. The introduction of the emperor in English.
His Majesty Negus Haile Selassie, I call upon the first delegate of Ethiopia. The speech which you are about to hear will be given in the Amharic language.
In the shadows of the press gallery, Italian newspaper men are ready for an outbreak against the emperor whose country their country has taken, waiting for his first word.
From the platform.
Monsieur le Président, Monsieur le...
Trying to quell the disturbance, lights turned out. Again, lights out. The disturber's ejected, arrested, and he is able to make his appeal.
የሚገባውን ትክክለኛ ፍርድ ለመጠየቅ ዛሬ በዚህ ቀርቤያለሁ። ምክንያቱም ወታደሮቹ ቦምቡ በወደቀ ጊዜ ጋዙን ነፋስ እስኪወስደው ድረስ መበታተኑ ስላወቁበት ነው።
An ovation, yes, but he gets no help. The League lifts the sanctions against Italy. Applause, and that's all.